Hello students, welcome to ETAIS-PCS. Today we are going to start with a very important topic, that is delimitation, which is important for your polity and constitution. Now, why we have taken this topic, that is delimitation and issues facing the South Indian states? Because recently our Union Minister of India, Shri Amit Shah, has stated that delimitation process will not impact the southern states, as the allocation of new states will be conducted on a pro rata basis. Pro rata basis here means based on quantifiable data. So, he assured that southern states would receive their fair share of any increase in representation. So, he is taking the concerns of southern states into consideration. Now, first and foremost, we must know what is delimitation. So, now look, currently if you have read polity or even if you haven't read it, we will try to understand you the things. In India, Lok Sabha, there are how many seats? There are 543 seats. Pan India currently, which has been currently occupied. Now, let us say in state of Punjab, there are how many seats? 117 seats at the MLA level and 13 seats in Lok Sabha. Now, delimitation, what delimitation says? It is the process of redefining the boundaries of electoral constituencies or districts. Let us say there is one electoral constituency. Delimitation is what? Redefining the boundary. Now, why we have to redefine the boundary? It ensures that each constituency has a relatively equal voter population following the principle of one vote, one value. So, this is important. Every constituency in India, that is 543 seats which has been applicable to Lok Sabha, every constituency has what? Equal voter population. For example, let us say Patiala constituency should have the same number of votes as that of Chennai. Chennai should have the same number of votes as of Amritsar. So, this is how this division has been created. Every constituency should have relatively equal voter population following the principle of one vote, one value. Now, adjustment post census. Now, you know after every 10 years, census is an decennial exercise. After every 10 years, census is conducted. So, after each census, adjustments are made. After every 10 years, adjustments are made. Now, you know when census figures come, in certain areas there is increase in population and in certain areas there is decrease in population. So, that is how we adjust that census figures into the delimitation. Now, when census will come, adjustment will be made where? Allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha to the states. Okay, let us say earlier the Lok Sabha seats were 10. Now, if the population of a particular state has increased, Lok Sabha seats will increase also. So, allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha to the states. Second, division of each state into territorial constituencies. Okay, two things are important here. 543 constituencies in Lok Sabha is there. Every constituency in India should have what? Equal amount of votes based on the population figure. Second perspective is with regard to state. Every state in India must have what? Equal weightage of votes. For example, Patiala Lok Sabha constituency should have the same number of constituency votes that of Sangrur. Sangrur must have the same constituency vote that of Bathinda. So, this is how they have, this is how the adjustment related to post census has been done. So, two things you must remember. First is allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha to the states. Second is division of each state into territorial constituency. So, these adjustments have been done thrice so far. First, it was done in 1951, the very first year of existence of India's voting representation. Second, 1961, and third is 1971 census. So, it has been carried forward but thrice. These adjustment has been done 3 times. Now, what are the constitutional references? Now, you have to remember, whenever any delimitation is done, there is Article 82 of the Lok Sabha which provides for the delimitation criteria, whereas in context of the state legislature the article is 170. Now, what is the parliament role? What parliament role play? Parliament has the authority to establish the procedures and governing body responsible for conducting delimitation. So, the procedure regarding the delimitation, the governing structure regarding the delimitation is provided by none other than Parliament of India. Now, next you must know that census is carried after every 10 years. After 1951, census has been carried forward every 10 years except in the COVID period. Now, except COVID, only delimitation has been done, but only delimitation has been done thrice so far. So, it was frozen as per 97-1 census by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act till 2000. So, पार्लियामेंट ने क्या किया कि सेंसस में क्या किया कि 1971 सेंसस के अकॉर्डिंगली इसको फ्रोज कर दिया था बाय 42nd अमेंडमेंट कि 2000 तक कोई भी सीट्स को इंक्रीज नहीं किया जाएगा. सेकंड, इट वाज एक्सटेंडेड बाय 84th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट. 2000 में 84th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट हुई, इसको कहाँ तक इंक्रीज कर दिया गया? टिल 2026. नाउ 2026 इज अप्रोचिंग नाउ. सो बट देयर इज वन एक्सेप्शन. बाउंड्रीज ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज एंड सीट रिजर्व्ड फॉर SC/STs वर रीएडजस्टेड एज पर 2001 सेंसस. जो सीट्स रिजर्व्ड हुई थी फॉर SC एंड ST, उसको क्या है, उनकी बाउंड्रीज को were readjusted as per 2001 census without overall alteration in seats. सिर्फ जो SC/ST की सीट्स थी एज पर 2001 सेंसस उसको रीएडजस्ट किया गया था, उसके अलावा अदर एलोकेशन ऑफ सीट्स वर और अदर ऑल्ट्रेशन इन सीट्स वर नॉट प्रोवाइडेड. सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर योर अपकमिंग एग्जाम. यू मस्ट रिमेंबर दीज 3 थिंग्स. फर्स्ट इज कि दीज वर फ्रोजन एज पर 1971 सेंसस. किस अमेंडमेंट से फ्रोज किया गया? 42nd Constitution Amendment Act 2000. Second, you must remember that it was again extended by 84th Amendment till 2026. And thirdly, in 2001, readjustment was done, but pertaining to the seats of SC/ST, not the overall re-alteration of seats occurred. So next, now you have read about the basics of delimitation, right? So coming on to the topic again here. Now look, so that is why the Union Minister of India is saying that delimitation exercise will not be impacting the southern states. Now 2 things are important. One is 2026 is approaching, as well as we have also provided under 106th Constitutional Amendment Act that 1/3 of the seats will be reserved for women in Lok Sabha as well as State Legislative Assembly. Okay, 1/3 of seats will be provided under the 106th Constitutional Amendment Act. So this allocation will also take place after the delimitation process. When delimitation process will, you know, now will occur when? In 2026. So after the delimitation process, 1/3 of the seats will also be reserved for women. Now why southern states are raising concern with regard to delimitation? So now you know that in India, family planning or population control measures was started in the year 1951 itself. So southern states have expressed concerns. Why they are expressing concerns? Now you know one thing here. What will be there? More the population of a state, more is the seats of that particular state. Less the population of a state, less is the seat with regard to that state. Now southern states have taken population control measures very vigorously, so their population has declined, whereas northern states haven't taken at that level the population control level. So northern states their population has pushed upward, their population has gone up. So why southern states are concerned? They will lose on 2 aspects. First is they argue that their efforts to manage fertility could lead to reduction in their representation in the legislature, because more the population, more the number of seats will be provided as per so delimitation does what? Delimitation readjusts the population. So that is their first concern. Okay, it will lead to what? It will lead to less representation in the legislature. Second, they worry that there will be reduction in financial allocations. Financially, because Finance Commission on the basis of population and other indicators also provides financial allocation. So second aspect is that there will be reduction in financial allocation to these states as a result of delimitation. So that is why our Honorable Home Minister has said that they have provided assurance to the southern state. But if it happens, southern state will lose in two aspects. First, for managing the fertility, it will lead to reduction in the legislature and a reduction in financial allocations also. So now look, this is using 2026 population projections. अगर हम 2026 population projections को देखें, so now look, currently Punjab is having 13 seats. पंजाब की इंक्रीज होके कितनी हो जाएंगी? 18 सीट्स. सो सिमिलरली यूपी इज हैविंग व्हाट 80 सीट्स. यूपी की बढ़ के कितनी हो जाएंगी? 143 सीट्स. सो दिस इज हाउ द लिमिटेशन गोना चेंज द डायनेमिक्स ऑफ इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स. नाउ अब इस चार्ट को देखिए आप एक बार. पॉपुलेशन वाइज सीट डाटा वॉज ब्रॉडली इक्विटेबल आफ्टर लास्ट डिलिमिटेशन. नाउ लुक इन 1961 अगर आप यूपी की पॉपुलेशन देखोगे, that was what? That was 1961 population was 7 crore. Understanding the point? So 1961 में इतनी पॉपुलेशन थी, ठीक है. तो सीट्स कितनी एलोकेट की गई यूपी को? द सीट्स एलोकेटेड वर 85. और पॉपुलेशन पर सेक्स रेशो एक सीट कितने में डिवाइडेड थी? 8,25,219. तो टोटल पॉपुलेशन वॉज दिस in 1961 close to 7 करोड़. एंड इसको आप डिवाइड कर लीजिए 85. 1967 में कितनी सीट्स थी? 85 सीट्स. तो एक को कितने में डिवाइड किया गया? 8,25,000. तो डिलिमिटेशन क्या कहता है? स्टेट के अंदर भी इक्वल रिप्रेजेंटेशन होनी चाहिए सीट्स की, और पैन इंडिया भी इक्विटेबल सीट्स होनी चाहिए. अब 1971 फिगर में पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज्ड ऑफ यूपी टू 8 करोड़ 38 लाख अप्रॉक्सीमेटली. तो सीट्स कितनी थी? 85. यहाँ पे भी सीट्स 85 थी, लेकिन पॉपुलेशन क्या है? बढ़ गई. 1961 में कितनी पॉपुलेशन थी? 7 करोड़. यहाँ पे कितनी बढ़ के होगी? 8 करोड़ 38 लाख. तो पॉपुलेशन पर सेक्स रेशो कितना हो गया? 9,86,456. दिस इज वन एग्जाम्पल. सिमिलरली यू कैन सी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू बिहार. पॉपुलेशन वॉज रफली 3 करोड़ 50 लाख. फिर बढ़ के 1961 में कितनी होगी? 4 करोड़ 21 लाख. तो इसमें कितनी सीट थी? 53. और यहाँ पे 58. सो दैट इज हाउ डिलिमिटेशन इज इम्पॉर्टेंट अगर आप पॉपुलेशन वाइज देखोगे. वाई वी हैव टेकन द 1971 पॉपुलेशन फिगर? 1971 के अकॉर्डिंगली ही फिगर्स हो रही हैं. 1971 पॉपुलेशन को ही अभी बेस रख के जो 543 सीट्स आप डिवाइड देखते हो, दैट इज पर एज द 1971 सेंसिस. क्योंकि आपने पढ़ लिया है आफ्टर 1971 डिलिमिटेशन वाज फ्रीज कर दिया गया था. अब देखिए अगर आप 2025 पॉपुलेशन के हिसाब से जाएंगे, ठीक है. सो 2025 पॉपुलेशन, अभी जो पॉपुलेशन है यूपी की दैट इज़ अराउंड 25 करोड़ 23 लाख. तो अगर हम इस सेम रेशो से जाएंगे तो सीट्स एट द सेम रेशो, इस रेशो से यूपी को कितनी सीट्स मिलेगी? 250 सीट्स. ठीक है, दिस इज ह्यूज. ठीक है. एंड अगर हम 15 लाख रेशो को वो करेंगे कि एक सीट को हम 15 लाख में डिवाइड कर दें, तो यूपी की सीट्स कितनी रहेंगी? 168. और अगर हम 20 लाख रेशो के साथ जाएंगे कि अगर एक सीट को हम 20 लाख पॉपुलेशन में डिवाइड कर दें तो यूपी की सीट कितनी होगी? दैट इज 126. तो अगर हम सेम रेशो जो हमने 1971 प्रोजेक्शंस में किया था, ठीक है, तो इंडिया में टोटल सीट्स कितनी हो जाएंगी? 1397. टोटल सीट्स विल बी 1397. और सीट्स अगर हम 15 लाख रेशो से जाते हैं, सीट्स विल बी 942. अगर हम 20 लाख रेशो से जाते हैं, seats will increase to 707. So this is how delimitation is important. Now coming on to next thing, what is the importance of delimitation? So now look, delimitation में हमें क्या पता लग रहा है? What we are getting, we are able to get the changing distribution of the population, कि how distribution is altering throughout these years. Second, अब आपको पता है some regions can experience significant population growth while others may see a decline. So in certain areas there can be an increase in population, in other areas there can be decline. So the disparity can result in imbalance in voter representation. How imbalance will occur? With some constituents having far more or fewer voter than others, then this is against the essence of delimitation. I will give you an example. Let's say Patiala constituency has 12 lakh voters, whereas let's say Jalandhar constituency has 8 lakh voters. This is against the sense of delimitation, because 4 lakh voters will be more in one constituency and 4 lakh voters will be less in other constituency. So this is how this disparity can result in imbalance in voter representation, with some constituencies having far more or fewer voter than others. Now delimitation commission is established by what? The President of India. So this is important. Delimitation commission is established by President of India. So what is the composition? Chief election commissioner or an election commissioner designated by chief election commissioner. Chief election commissioner is the head, or he can appoint the election commissioner also. Second, a retired or serving judge of Supreme Court. Third, election commissioner of the relevant state. So this is the composition which is important. Authority and decision making. Now any decision made by the delimitation commission are not subject to judicial review. It means judiciary cannot review what delimitation commission has said. It is full and final. Then presentation of discussion. Now whatever discussions will be held, they will be presented to the Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. Lok Sabha in the case of center, Vidhan Sabha in case of states. So these bodies are not allowed to make any alteration to the orders. Whatever delimitation commission has proposed, it is full and final. Even judiciary cannot intervene also, and judiciary cannot review it. So this is already we have discussed. Article 182 governs the delimitation process for Lok Sabha, 170 governs the Vidhan Sabha. Now there is a provision for suspension of delimitation. There is a constitutional provision that allows for suspension of delimitation exercise. So through constitutional provisions, what we can do, we can suspend the delimitation exercise also. Now coming on to the main thing, what impact delimitation possesses. First is balancing political power, that is gerrymandering. Delimitation can reshape the allocation of political power across regions and communities. So that is why it is very important what number of seats one area should have, or one constituency should have, what seats overall state should have, what seats should overall community should have. So this is very important. Redrawing constituency boundaries can influence the electoral viability of political parties and candidates. Now let's say UP's population has increased manifold. So UP's increase, so electoral viability of a particular political parties and candidates will be more. For example, in 2008 delimitation, Jharkhand saw a significant shift in political power. Why Jharkhand saw a significant shift in political power? Because its constituent boundaries were redefined, so its political power got enhanced as compared to other states. Now how we can address the demographic changes? Look, in 2002 states like Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu underwent constituency redefinition to accommodate population growth in urban areas. So in 2002 what these states have said, they have comparatively compared rural as well as what urban areas. So what they saw that population growth in urban areas was much more than that of rural areas. So that is how the division should be split. So this adjustment ensured a more accurate representation of demographic shift, particularly for urban centers. So this is how Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu did, and they seen that with comparative to the rural areas, urban population was more, so representation should be more towards the urban areas rather than the rural areas. Second was minority representation. Delimitation has enhanced the representation of minority group. For example, 2008 delimitation process established constituent in areas with high minority population such as Mallapuram in Kerala. Now, if this is the thing, if delimitation will occur, minority groups will get more representation, as we have seen in case of Mallapuram in Kerala. Next, enhanced gender representation. So obviously gender representation in politics will increase. Some states in 2008 redrew constituents boundaries to facilitate the reservation of seats for women in local governance, even at the panchayats level. So even at the panchayats level, certain states have taken the figures, and with that figures they have redraw constituency or boundaries based on what? Based on the gender. Where females were comparatively more as compared to males, they provided what? Reservation to female in that constituencies. Fair representation. Now look, what is the primary goal of delimitation? The primary goal is to ensure equitable representation by adjusting constituent boundaries based on population changes. And one thing delimitation stands for is the principle of one person, one vote. Now issues associated with it. Some states will have reduced representation, that is, they have reached population stabilization, such as the states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. That is why southern states are protesting it, they are in fear also. Conversely, states with ongoing population growth may see an increase in representation. Now look at this table, you will understand more. Currently, number of seats at present in UP is what? 80. And number of seats projected in UP will get 11 seats more, that is 91. So they are gaining 11 seats more. In Bihar, there are how many seats currently? 40. So Bihar will get what? 50 seats. So net gain of 10 seats. Similarly in Rajasthan, 25 states, that is 6 seats, net gain of 6 seats. So in case of Punjab, there are 13 seats. Punjab will get 1 seat less because population stabilization, because of migration factors, that is 12 seats, that is net loss of 1. Understanding the point? So if we are basing this data on the what? On the basis of if the number of seats is retained at 543 and reproportioned among states based on the projected population in 2026. Based on the 2026 population, this can be the thing. Now, if the seats are increased to 842, currently how many seats are there? 543. Okay, 543 to, we are increasing it to 842. Then what will be the impact? UP seat will increase from 80 to 143. That is net gain of 63 seats. Similarly, Bihar has how many seats? 40 seats. It will have 79 seats. That is net gain of 39 seats. Now look at Punjab. Punjab has 13 seats. If we go by 848, Punjab will get 18 seats. That is 5 more seats. So there is a complexity. Now looking at this figure, now you will be also an confused element. Okay, which figures we should use? We should reproportioned among states based on the projected population. Should we use this criteria? Should we use this criteria? What criteria we should use? So now we'll discuss what criteria we should use. Issue of minority representation. Now you know minority representation has increased manifold after the delimitation, but Sachar Commission has recommended that where there is a high minority population, it should not be reserved for scheduled caste. So if there is a constituency where minority population is more, who are minorities? Constitution is not defining the minorities, but other than Hindus, that is Sikhs, Muslims, Buddhists, Christians, Parsis or Zoroastrians, as well as Jains. All these are what minorities in India. So what Sachar Commission is saying is, okay, where there is high minority population, seats should not be reserved for scheduled caste. Second, despite this recommendation, there have been reports of non-compliance with these principles in the recent delimitation exercise in Assam. So it has not been properly implemented. It had not been implemented in spirit also. So second point is challenges in delimitation exercise. Delimitation exercise often face implementation challenges due to logistical and administrative issues. So it is very tough. Now if we are redrawing the boundary, let's say we are moving one area from here and here, other area from here and here, and we are changing the dynamics of the population. So it is a very tough issue. It requires what? Logistic and administrative issue. Now what should be the roadmap for future day? It is crucial that delimitation process must be equitable, transparent, and it should consider the interests of all communities and regions. Now coming on to what I have asked you, okay, what can be the options in front of us? So broadly we will discuss what are the 4 options available for us in order to strengthen the delimitation process. First is option 1. Delimitation Commission may decide to freeze all the allocation of seats until all states achieve political population destabilization. Now you know that states such as Kerala and Tamil Nadu have achieved population stabilization, whereas states such as UP, Bihar and Rajasthan have led to expulsion. Population expulsion is there, increase in population is there. So what first option we are providing, that until and unless all the states in India shouldn't have population stabilization, delimitation exercise should be freezed. That is what we have done in the 1971 also. Okay, it will be freeze till 2000. This was done by 42nd Constitution. In 2000 there was 84th Constitution Amendment which further freeze till 2026. So again what we are proposing, that we must freeze until we aren't achieving the population stabilization. Now second option is what European Parliament has done, that is Cambridge Compromise. So this question can be asked in your prelims examination also. The Delimitation Commission could create a tailored mathematical model. So what is Cambridge Compromise? It is a mathematical model devised for seat distribution in the European Parliament. So any mathematical model which is close to the Cambridge Compromise, we can adopt that model also. So this approach is considered as a best practice for achieving fairness in representation. Third option is Punji Commission. Punji Commission has suggested that states should receive equal representation in the Rajya Sabha. Now you know, in Lok Sabha currently we are having 545 seats, but actual representation is 543. In Rajya Sabha we have total 245 seats, current strength is 245. So in Rajya Sabha how representation is done? Okay, maximum the population of a state, more the population of a state, more is the Rajya Sabha members. So more population, more the maximum populated state is UP, so they are having more representation in Rajya Sabha. Punji Commission is of the perspective that okay, we should have Rajya Sabha representation based on American Senate, America's Senate model. In America there are 50 states. In America there are 50 states. Every state has 2 members in the Senate. We call Rajya Sabha here. In America it is called Senate. So 100 members are there. So Punji Commission is saying not on the basis of population, every Indian state should have equal representation in the Rajya Sabha. Now what it entails? It will balance the power dynamics among the states. So it will not be a population rush. Okay, who is having more population will get more number of seats. So it will balance out. It will balance the power dynamics in the Lok Sabha and ensure that state does not lose their representation and voice in the Rajya Sabha. So this is the third option. Fourth is number of seats in the Lok Sabha should be capped. Jitni seats हैं currently, whatever seats we are having, we should keep it. And Fourth option what we are saying कि the number of MLAs could be increased based on the current. तो आप क्या करो, लोकसभा में 543 है, just freeze it here, don't increase it. What we can do, we can increase it to the state legislative assembly, that is Vidhan Sabha. So at Vidhan Sabha, on the current population figures, it should be increased. So this adjustment could help reconcile the democratic and federal principles involved in the delimitation process. So this is very comprehensive topic which we have covered about delimitation. Now this was asked in last year UPSC prelims. So this is UPSC PYQ. So what they have framed, how many delimitation commissions has been constituted by the government of India till December 2023? A1, B2, C3, D4. Now answer should be clear to each and everyone, that is D, 4 is the right answer. Understanding the point? So how it was created, 1951, then 1961 and 1971 and 2001. So this is how the delimitation figures occurred, right? So it has what? It has been constituted by the government of India. Hope you have liked this lecture. This is very important for your upcoming UPSC, Punjab PCS as well as any exam you are preparing for. So if you have liked this video, and do share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.